One of the hardest challenges in life is making friends using a foreign language. So this is the story of how I did it and how I ended up locked in a room with a serial killer. Welcome to day 2 of my first ever trip to Japan, where I'm challenging myself to only speak Japanese while I'm there. But before I get into how I ended up here, let's take a look at the events that led up to this. So having studied the language for 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to make some friends that see me as more than just an English training partner. So I want to introduce my friends and share how I met them. But I have to tackle this issue first.
おはようございます。まあ出ました。よくわかんないっすけど、すげえ寝癖だってるみたい。なんかアニメキャラっぽくない?
Now, I ain't about to roll up to a Hatsutaimen looking like L from Death Note. So to fix this, I ran over to the nearby Conbini to pick up a can of keep spray. In my head, I'm thinking, how hard could this possibly be? I've been to a Conbini before in the Yakuza games. I've thrown people's heads into microwaves. But what I failed to consider is that these Tein-san are literally paid to be an NPC. And all they ever do is repeat the same lines over and over again thousands of times a day. So as I confidently approach the Reji, I get hit with...
お預かりします。
はい。
はい、250円になります。袋に入れますか？袋？
いらないです。
はい。
はい、1000円です。
はい、1000円お預かりします。ポイントカードはお持ちですか？
ないです。
はい、750円のお返しです。
はい。
はい、レシートはどうですか？レシート。
いらないです。
大丈夫ですか？はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございます。Please throw me in a microwave. I left the store with hairspray in one hand and a bag full of cringe in the other. The cost of fixing my hair was 250 yen and all of my menboku. Well, now that I'm on the way to meeting my friends at Shinjuku Station, I think it's time I showed you how I actually met them. Like many learners, I wanted to make real Japanese friends that I could actually practice my Japanese with, and I found this game called Warland. See, in this game, you can team up with up to 4 people, and occasionally people team up on the official Discord server. When I first started Warlander, I was already fluent in Japanese, but I just didn't have the confidence to jump into calls with multiple strangers. Actually, the first time I ever joined a group call, I was so nervous I didn't know what to say and I just stayed muted. Then one of the people looked at the call and went, ね、なんか変な人来てない? One day, I saw the chance and asked myself, what would hurt more? Messing up a conversation and embarrassing myself, or never developing the confidence to speak to people using the language I spent so much effort learning. その答えはただ一つ. And that is the reason for my determination. I would much rather live with embarrassment than to live with regret. And now, not only have I made over 100 new friends, I'm also one of Warlander's top players. Among these friends are 2 people that I often team up with. Introducing first, Mamu-kun, our mage. We often call him a broccoli because of his character's hair. Not only is he crazy good at the game, but he's also a really good coordinator and basically acts as our leader. Also, he streams on Twitch and I join him sometimes. I'll link it up here. The other friend is Furutaro. She's probably one of the strongest medics in the entire game. Oftentimes, the difference between winning or losing is solely based on whether Furu-chan is there or not. Also, she uses this pig shield. Oh, and by the way, I'm a knight that specializes in using siege weapons. I don't know about you, but it sounds like we're the main cast of an anime, and I swear I did not make any of that up at all. So, after playing with these guys for several months, it's time we went from Waranda to Ofuranda. Upon arriving at Shinjuku Station for the second time, I also found myself lost for the second time. I snap a picture to let them know where I am, and eventually I hear someone calling out, "Onisa!" Getting flashbacks to the tout from yesterday, I immediately turn around to find a massive man and an One-san waving at me. おし、はじめまして。
おし、ジェイさん。
ジェイちゃん。
二人ともちっちゃいね。
いや、そちらこそブロッコリーじゃないんだ。
当たり前だろ。
逆にブロッコリーできたら怖くない？
Our first destination together was Asakusa. While on the train, Mamu-kun asked me if I've ever pulled an Omikuji before. Omikuji can be found at shrines and are basically these sticks that tell your fortune. The results can range from the best being Daikichi, meaning big luck, to the worst being Daikyo, meaning big shit. So while my friends are excited to see me pull my first Omikuji, I know I'm about to put the fate of my entire future into a single stick. As we approach the Sensouji, the oldest temple in Tokyo, this is where the real attraction actually starts for me. The Sensouji is a tera, or a temple. So what you're supposed to do is to just throw a coin into the saisen buckle, then clap your hands together and pray for a second. Now that I've offered up a whopping 10 yen, I hope that's enough to bribe the kami-sama into giving me a good fate. 39. これ？そう。あとこれ。But Kyo, the second worst possible result. And to make things worse, apparently they removed all the Daikyo results from the Sensouji, meaning they removed the worst possible result, and I got the new worst possible result. Out of the 7 possible outcomes at the Sensouji, 6 of them have Kichi in it, which is luck, and I got Kyo. Oh yeah, and this is what's written on, right? So, fortune number 2, whole house catches on fire. And fortune number 4, loss of head. But apparently, all you need to do to turn a Kyo into Daikichi is to tie the Omikuji onto this post. So yeah, all that, house catching on fire, loss of head, yeah, all that turns into big luck just by tying a little knot. We'll see about that. Moving on from Asakusa, our next destination is the Tokyo Skytree. You know what standing up here reminds me of? So look at this, right? This is the view from my window in Hong Kong, and this is the view from the top of the Skytree. It's like playing Minecraft with the default render distance, and then comparing it to the infinite render distance mod. That's what it felt like. On the Skytree, they also have this glass platform, which I probably shouldn't have been standing on considering the Kyo that I just pulled, but evolution has clearly failed me because I feel no fear at all. I feel some fear. After walking around so much, it's time to get some lunch. But what was interesting for me wasn't the food or the restaurant, but again, the little bits of culture that I was able to pick up. See, in Hong Kong, we usually just walk in and sit down. Here, we walked in and the waitress asked,
何名様ですか?
to which Mama-kun said,
あ、3人です。
The waitress then told him to write his name on a ledger, then wait on one of the chairs outside. Mama-kun wrote Gojo because apparently writing names of anime characters is an okay thing to do. Interesting. After finishing our meal, we headed to the Shibuya Scrambler. Interestingly, the tourists were lining up to take pictures of Hachiko the dog, so I was able to get this super clean shot without anybody in the way. Oh yeah, and then suddenly this guy with no shirt shows up and just starts screaming at people. It was like 10 degrees outside, this guy's just built differently. Anyway, we really didn't have much to do in Shibuya, so after about 10 minutes, we headed back to Shinjuku to look for some Jikan Tsubushi activities. A few minutes of Googling later, we end up finding a horror-themed escape room, and despite Furu-chan going,
え、やだ.
we're mean, so we hauled her ass in. We chose the room we wanted to play, and they handed us a Seiyakusho to sign. Interestingly, they gave me the Japanese version, and I was able to read it just fine. Good win for me. Hey! Man, I get jump scared by a random staff member before the game even starts, man. Oh, by the way, the facility didn't allow us to film inside the games, probably because they don't want us leaking the solutions out. So to respect that, I'm gonna change a few details of the puzzle. Anyway, we get led to our room, and I immediately start noting what's inside. TV, small paintings, a safe, some boxes with various locks, and a little door. Before I can think any further, the staff tells us we actually need to split up as the little door leads to another room. To choose who goes over, we settle it with rock, paper, scissors. Before we split up though, the staff tells us the rules. We're not allowed to use outside tools like our phones, and we're also not allowed to throw stuff over the wall. We are, however, allowed to communicate by shouting over the wall. As I'm led out of the room by the staff, Furu-chan hits me with the
ちいちゃん大丈夫?
and I go,
大丈夫。僕最強だから。
But before I can enter the other room, the staff stops me and tells me,
ああ、お客様、この部屋の中にちょっと恥ずかしいお兄さんがいるので、お兄さんに触ることは控えてください。
What? Got it. The door opens and surely enough, Oni-san is sitting in the middle of the room. Before I have time to process this, the staff shuts the door and... Okay. So the TV starts playing some horror movie, but I'm gonna be real, I didn't pay any attention to it at all. Only thing I know is that there's a man outside massacring everybody and he's making his way to our room. And if we don't escape in 20 minutes, he'll get to us and he's coming for us right now. I immediately grabbed the first box while trying to keep Oni-san in my field of view. Inside was a key and a map. The key unlocked this first aid box, which contained flashlights inside. The map pointed at these 2 letters written on the wall, which seems to correlate with this 5-letter lock. ねえねえ、マームくん、フルちゃん、そっちなんか英文字とかある？
あるよ、2文字。
教えて。
最初は P。
え？ P ない。
いや、あるよ。
いや、こっちなんか5文字のジョーある。
5文字？
そう。
待って、チェフさん。そっちの壁なんか書いてある？
あるよ。
どこで書いてる？
右奥の壁とドアの左の壁。
左に何書いてる？
B で、こっちの壁は G。
こっちってどっちだよ。
お兄ちゃんの隣。
あ？誰？うわ、やべえ、何も見えねえ。チェフさん？チェフさん？すみません。ちょっと失礼します。今ヒントをあげないとそっち何も見えないので、お兄ちゃんの手で握ってる紙を取ってそっちに渡ってますね。
はい。おい、マジかよ。とんでもねえぜ、このスタッフさんが。2回もびっくりさせやがって。キャストにしろよ、マジで。こいつ才能抜群だぜ。With the other side now able to see, I realize we're tsunda on both sides. After quite a few minutes, we figure out that the most likely next move is to connect our rooms together. I retake a look at my map and realize it's a map of their room. After relaying the info over, they somehow managed to unlock the door. いらっしゃいませ。お兄ちゃんに挨拶して。
うわ、なんだこいつ。
おい、ちょっと振らないで。スタッフさんが。
あ、そうなの？ごめん。
俺、ちょっと待って。こっち人間じゃねえの？
ああ、そうみたい。
は。Anyways, now that they're here, they give me this box, which happens to work on my key, and coincidentally, they also have a key that works on my lock. Inside their box is 5 pages with letters on them. Inside my box is another yellow box that's locked. We rearranged the 5 pages based on the Japanese writing on it. As a result, the letters spelled out the word caged. So I entered that into the lock that required letters, and out came a blue book and a green egg. I started flipping through the book with Furu-chan, while Mama-kun popped open the egg to find a key inside. This key worked on the yellow box, which opened up to reveal 3 pictures of a dead man wearing a red shirt, as well as this.
ねえ、これ見て。
お、4桁のロックある？
ああ、そっちの金庫。
ナイス。
おい、これやばいじゃん。
いやいや、ゆっくりで冷静に考えろ。
そうだよね。焦っちゃ何も解けないだよね。
あと別に時間が切れたらフルちゃんを盾にするから。
ああ、じゃあよろしくね、フルちゃん。
Mama-kun quickly figures out that yellow is 4 because the yellow box had 4 items inside. He also takes a look at the photos of the dead man and finds the number 5. I figured out that green is obviously the egg, which has 1 key inside. The last number seems to relate to the blue book, but we've already read all the contents and nothing stood out. Thinking that there must be some other blue object we've yet to find, we scatter to search our respective rooms again.
ねえ、そっち中まだ開けてないものある？
いやー、あんまりなさそうね。あ、待って、わかった。まず415入れて、最後の数字を全部試してて。
ああ、それありだね。ねえ、チェフさん。
ん？
全部ダメだった。
マジか。As they continue to search for blue objects, I can't help but feel that the solution must somehow be related to this book. 縦読み、チャー、逆さま、逆、火付け。待って。 おい、分かった。4058。
え？
いいから早く。
はい、4058。お、開けた。なんで？
枚数だ、青は。ページは全部書かれてない。書かれたページだけを数えたら8。
そうなの？で、なんで緑0になったの？
卵の形。何みたい？
マジか。
Feeling extremely proud and accomplished, we opened up the safe ready to get the key to escape. But inside were just more flashlights. おお、これ紫外線だわ。かっこいい。
いや、感動する場合じゃないだろう。
ねえねえ、こっちこっち。
Shining the light on the blue book reveals some hidden text. 骨、ろうそく、カラス、十字架。The paintings on the wall, they become our exit key.
30秒。
Shining the UV light on the hone reveals 5. ろうそく 9. カラス 4.
10秒。
With only the last number left, we shine our lights on the Jujika. But there's no number.
5、4、3、2、1。
Son! We ended the day at a yakiniku restaurant in Ikebukuro. Sitting here reminded me of this super impactful scene from Yakuza 5, and this feeling was made doubly so when Mama-kun ordered horumo.
はい、ホルモンです。
Oh, and while we were ordering, the Tenin-san messed up our order a few times and was also using pretty broken Japanese, so I was like, oh, これ中国人なのかな? To which Mama-kun responded,
多分そう。あれを見たら自分がどれほどうまいか分かってるんだろ？
そうだよ。ジェイちゃん本当にすごいよ。
いや。
マジで最初は日本人かなと思ってたんだけど、知り合ったらなんか文化はちょっと違うなって感じで、そっから外国人かなって思い始めたんだよね。
I mean, I don't think I can work at a yakiniku restaurant either, but they didn't say Nihongo Jouzu, so I realize now that the true value of languages lies not in the ability to use it, but in who you use it with. When I was with these friends, I felt accepted and was never treated like a foreigner. Instead of me being with my quote-unquote Japanese friends, it just felt like me being with my friends. And that's something I hope I can inspire all learners to achieve one day. Kanpai! But you know the drill, the trip is only getting started. Tomorrow, I'll finally get to geek out by exploring Akihabara and revisiting Kabukicho. A little could I have expected a close call with the actual Yakuza. To find out what happens tomorrow, click the next episode here.